Hi guys, Namaste. I am Goddess Green. In this video, I am going to be sharing with you how to become an empowered empath. I've been receiving a few comments on my channel about being an empath and sort of the experiences that a lot of you are going through. And I wanted to share a few things that I've come to know on how to sort of empower yourself and use that energy and that power that you have, that sensitivity, to your own benefit and for your own well-being. Now, becoming an empowered empath. The first thing you need to do is to become aware. You have to be aware of your triggers. You have to be aware of the dynamics that you get attracted to. You have to be aware of the kinds of relationships that easily trigger you. You have to be aware of the things that people say and certain circumstances and certain experiences, what emotion it triggers within you. If the emotion is typically guilt, then be aware of that. Say to yourself, when people come to me with their stories and their experiences, or when I see such and such, I feel guilty. If the experience is fear, if the experience or the emotion that you experience is shame, if the emotion that you experience is insecurity, if the emotion is overwhelmment, or you're just believing that you're going to lack something from whatever it is that you're hearing and whatever situation that you're in. Once you can identify what the trigger is within you, once you identify what the emotion that you're experiencing, whenever you find yourself in relationship dynamics or life circumstances that cause you to give more than you need to give, that cause you to tolerate things that you don't want to tolerate, that cause you to sacrifice more of yourself than you are willing to. These emotions and these circumstances eventually make you feel like you're being taken advantage of. It makes you feel like you're not getting your needs met. And most especially with empaths, you feel like what you're giving and sharing is not being reciprocated. So it's like you're feeling depleted. It's like you're feeling taken advantage of, like things are being taken from you and you're not experiencing the thing that you're desiring in return. The second thing is to be aware of what you are getting out of it. A lot of empaths do not want to admit to themselves and are not aware enough to know that there is a part of them that is getting something from being such an empath. The way the universe works is very interesting. It takes two to tango. If you're in a certain dynamic, if you're in a certain relationship, if you're attracting certain circumstances, there is a part of you that is attracting it. There is a part of you that is a match to it. So it's working perfectly. It's never out of balance. So you have to admit to yourself what part of you is interested in this dynamic where you keep sacrificing yourself, where you keep giving more than you want to, or you keep tolerating things that you don't want to tolerate. You have to be willing to look at yourself and admit, how am I letting this happen? Usually, when you're empathic or highly sensitive, what you're getting out of it is the need to feel safe. If someone is exhibiting a strong emotion or anger or something negative, you feel fear and you want to feel safe, so you try to soothe them, or you try to give them what they want, or you try to fix their problem so that you can feel safe again. If someone is doing something and saying something, or you're experiencing something that's making you feel guilty, and you're not very aware of your emotions and how you're easily triggered, you're going to feel bad from this guilt. Obviously, when you feel bad, you're going to want to feel good. So you're going to say to yourself, I want to feel good right now. Your brain is going to realize that what this person is doing or saying or what you're experiencing is making you feel bad in the form of guilt, and you want to feel better by tolerating something you shouldn't tolerate, or sacrificing yourself, or sacrificing your sense of well-being more than you feel comfortable or secure with. Again, because you're feeling guilty, you're feeling bad, you want to fix the external situation so you can start to feel good. So know how you are playing into this dynamic. Another way that you're letting it happen, another thing that you're getting out of it, is feeling like you are of value. If you're insecure, if you're experiencing low self-worth, you're going to want to feel of value. So when you see something in the external world, you might try to people please. You might try to involve yourself in situations that have nothing to do with you. You might want to rescue someone or save the day because you want to feel like you matter. You want to feel important. You want to feel a sense of self-worth. So you put yourself in detrimental situations so you can start to feel of value. These are some of the ways and some of the things that empaths get out of the dynamic that a lot of us are not conscious enough of. So once you can start to admit to yourself that there is a part of you that is getting something back from being so empathic, and that there's a part of you that is letting it happen, and that it takes two to tango, you can start to really uproot what it is that you are perceiving as a reward from this dynamic. Deep down, you're not really feeling like you're benefiting from it, but you're unconsciously doing these things. The third way to become more empowered is to understand what's going on with the people and the external situations that keep trying to get something from you. If you don't want to feel like you're being taken advantage of, if you don't want to feel like you're being used, if you don't want to feel like you're sacrificing so much of yourself, you don't want to feel like you're sacrificing your values, your belief, your well-being, you have to also understand the other part of the dynamic. You have to understand the people that come to you with stories, with negative stories and negative experiences, have a subconscious understanding that if they can make you feel bad, you will instinctively want to feel good by fixing their problem. Again, if they can make you feel bad, you will want to feel good by fixing their problem. A lot of these people don't even realize that they're doing it. There are a lot of unhealthy and unbalanced people out there. It's not their fault. It's still their responsibility to take care of themselves, but a lot of people are still asleep and they haven't really woken up to their own empowerment. So if you can start to see the other part of the dynamic is also having a flaw, also having a part of them missing. They're also not empowered. They don't realize that they also are the source of everything that they desire. They believe that you are the source of happiness. They believe that you are the source of abundance. They believe that you are the source of well-being. So they come up with ways to sort of trigger you and manipulate you, and they come up with stories so that you can provide for them what it is that they need. Some of them were raised this way, some of them are just dysfunctional, but if you can start to see what's going on energetically on that side, it'll make it easier for you to forgive, so you can let go of any kind of resentment that might still tie you to this dynamic. It'll make it easier for you to also free yourself from being a part of this destructive dynamic. The fourth way to become more empowered as an empath is to decide what it is you are going to give. It's going to take time for you to move from a place where you feel like a victim. It's going to take consistency. It's going to take awareness. It's going to take practice. And that takes time. You have to be willing to give yourself this time. But while you're doing this, you also have to create sort of a getaway from that situation. Sort of like a temporary band-aid, something that ensures that you're not continuously practicing that habit while you're sort of integrating yourself and realizing yourself and becoming more empowered. One of the things I like to do is to create soothing phrases and soothing words and soothing emotions and habits. For example, if a person comes to me with a really sad story and they're telling me all these things that's going on, and I start to feel that feeling of guilt or fear or shame, and a part of me is wanting to fix it and get involved in all these things that I usually do, I start to cry I start to give them my tears. I start to give them as much consolation as I possibly can. I give them so much soothing words. I give them hugs. I give them appreciation. I tell them it's okay that you're going through this. Everything's going to be fine. Everything's going to be okay. You're a beautiful person. Things always work out. I know you're in a lot of pain. I've felt pain too. I'm sure it's just temporary and things will improve. Give as much positive words, as much love, as much positive frequency as you can. Because when you do this, the person is becoming soothed. They're feeling like they're receiving from you, which is going to help slow down that mechanism that keeps wanting to get something from you. They're going to feel like they're receiving, and it's going to put them at ease. Meanwhile, you are giving away something that doesn't cost anything for you. You're giving away something that feels even good for you to give away. You have to give something that doesn't make you feel like you are sacrificing. You have to give something that also makes you feel good, and something that feels like is of benefit to you as well. So when you just exude the frequency of love and appreciation and understanding and support, but don't actually go out of your way and support them. Don't actually get involved in your stuff. Don't try to fix it. Don't put your hands in it. Just give them that frequency in the form of words and hugs and your emotion as well. When you do this, you feel like your sense of empathy is getting some kind of relief. You're not walking away in a very cold way. You're not going to walk away and torture yourself with guilt for the next few weeks, because that's what empaths do. When we don't make someone else happy, when we don't fix someone's problem that's in pain, we feel this strong sense of guilt that just forces us to go back to the situation and try to fix it again. So if you can give them as much of your positive vibration, if you can give them something that doesn't cost you anything, it doesn't cost you much time, and it's not taking anything from you, it's very easy for you to soothe them and also feel a relief from that immense sense of empathy that you're carrying. If you like to bake, if you like to make art, whatever it is that fulfills you, that you would already do for yourself, do it for them in that moment, because you're not only giving to them, you're also giving to yourself. So that way you don't experience that feeling of lack that could get triggered. You don't experience that feeling like you're sacrificing, because you're also fulfilling yourself as the person is also getting soothed. The last way to empower yourself as an empath, the last technique to become an empowered empath, is to find a positive and productive channel. Find a charity that speaks to you specifically. If your thing is art, if the thing that triggers you the most is children, if the thing that triggers you the most is women and female empowerment, find a charity that is targeted in that area. Find a charity specifically for that thing that triggers you the most, and put some of that empathic energy into that charity. Put some of your time. Start with things that don't cost you a lot. The tendency with empaths is to just dive right in and sacrifice all of yourself, all of your time, all of your money, all of your resources into something that you feel is a good cause, because you want to be a good person, even to your detriment. Find a positive outlet. Find a positive channel. Find a charity that speaks to you, and start a little bit at a time. Give whatever it is that is not going to cause you to trigger any feelings of lack or loss. Give whatever you enjoy already making and creating and being for yourself. Give a little bit of time. Give a little bit of your talents that are already improving you. The more you do this to this specific channel, and you pull away from the relationships and the circumstances that are causing you to overgive and over sacrifice, and are causing you to trigger and are causing you to feel triggered and lack, the more you pull away from that, and you still find a channel for you to let your empathic energy flow, the more you do that, you're going to actually start to experience a sense of worthiness, that sense of worthiness that you're craving so much. You're going to start to experience feeling whole, through this channel. You're going to start to feel like you are the one deciding when, where, how much, and how you give, and what you give to, and if you even give. So you start to have this feeling of being empowered, even though you're empathic. You're the one making the decisions. You're the one creating the channel for you to let this energy flow. Once you're starting to feel more fulfilled, you're starting to feel more whole, you're starting to feel like a good person, you're starting to feel of value and worthy. When you return to these other relationships, you're going to start to see that you're not going to be as triggered by the old stories. You're not going to be as triggered by the old circumstances, because now you're getting to experience people that are actually in need. You're getting to experience people that are actually benefiting from what you have to give and who you are and that state and that energy that you carry. So those other triggers are not effective anymore. They are no longer affecting you, and you feel empowered. You find it easy to say no without feeling guilty, because you know you have this alternative channel to allow your sense of empathy to flow. I love you. I appreciate you. I am Goddess Green. This has been how to become an empowered empath. Feel free to comment, like, and subscribe. I appreciate you. Namaste.